Y'all, close the windows and shut the doors. We tapping on something, y'all. We are tapping on something. This is Tahirah. Welcome back to Instructions for Humanity. Subscribe. Guys, let's going to talk about the triangle. We're going to talk about that all-seeing eye today. You know, the one that's on your money, that money that you got to get, that all y'all Christians got to get. But at the same time, y'all saying that the third eye is evil. That same one. I'm just playing with y'all. That's what we're going to talk about today. Guys, I just finished a session. I do past life regression therapy, quantum healing. I just finished a session. It's almost 5-hour session. It's amazing, y'all. I got some information about the third eye. This is what we are going to talk about. Hold on. This is what we're going to talk about. So you guys know that I've been doing a few of these sessions so far, and these people that I've been guiding them to past lives, but only to find out that they are actually higher dimensional beings, futuristic beings on higher dimensions. And guys, I'm going to tell you that somebody lied, girl. Somebody done lied to us. They keep everything dark here. They hide. Let me explain. They tell you that, oh no, this is of Satan. This is of the dark. This is not right to do. They're giving us a false image of the darkness. Black people are bad. You on the blacklist, you bad. Dark-skinned people is bad. See where I'm going with this? This whole life we've been told that everything dark is bad, but guys, now I'm doing these sessions, I think it's quite the opposite. It's what I'm trying to say. So, in my last quantum healing session, this individual was actually a 13th dimensional light being, where actually she was brought into a garden, which I kind of equate it to as the Garden of Eden. And what I'm seeing in all of these different sessions that I'm doing is that on every dimension there is a garden there. It's the center of the civilization there. I'm seeing that there are more than one Garden of Eden. There are several, depending on what dimension you're on. That's like, I believe, the meeting place of these beings. That's where they go get the high orders. And then they go out into the dimensions and go ahead and spread the plan and work out the plan. But what I'm saying is, what I'm noticing is these higher dimensional beings actually are more dark than light. These higher dimensional beings, guys, are more dark than light. And what I mean by darkness is they have skewed darkness, making us think that anything that is disagreeable is dark. Just because an energy is disagreeable doesn't make it not closer to the light. I would beg to differ that it actually makes it closer to the light, and the further you get away from the light, could it be the more light that you get? We're gonna walk there slowly, y'all. We're gonna walk there. I'm gonna tread lightly, because y'all gonna be like, what's she trying to say? Treading lightly, but this is what I'm seeing firsthand in my sessions, and I'm in with my clients for hours. It takes 2, 3, 4, 5 hours sometimes. This is what we're finding out, that true darkness is actually closer to the light, because how this whole thing starts, it starts in the dark void womb of the universe. That is the raw creation. It is just the whole piece of source that has never expressed a thought of singularity. Therefore, it's just raw materials, raw dark matter. It holds everything, has all the eggs of potentiality in that. It is dark because it has to be, because it has to hold all things. When we start to bring light, that's how we travel as higher dimensional beings. We travel. You heard that? Traveling faster than the speed of light. We use light to travel, light codes. That's how we have these light code language. It's more of energy in motion than it is actual light code language. But the energy in motion writes a code, therefore becomes a light language. But these higher dimensional beings are actually closer to the raw dark matter of mama's universe, the raw potentiality, exit potentiality. And it naturally has a darkness because it has to hold all things, right? When we bring light in, it makes distorted images. It distorts the raw materials. It distorts truth. It can hide certain aspects of the truth and shine the light too much on other aspects. But see, in the darkness, this is when you have your third eye activated. You can see in the darkness to see within. This is what we're talking about, is this pyramid that's on top of your money with the third eye and the light on top of it. I'm going to tell you that this third eye, this session I just finished, this third eye sits on the 8th dimension and it speaks. Oh yes, does it speak? It spoke to me. We spoke for over an hour, and I will share this session with you guys, but it is quite lengthy, so I thought I'd jump in here and do a video about it. So these higher dimensional beings, they're closer to the darkness. They have a very thick energy, and when we experience thick energy around us, we say, this is the devil, this is the demon. But what if I were to tell you that it was the opposite? These are higher dimensional beings that you were in contact with. And that's why you're afraid, because the truth is, a demon is nothing more than a manifestation of your trauma, a manifestation of unhealed wounds inside of the soul. Guys, I specialize in the journey our soul takes. I specialize in the soul, in removing the soul ties. I'm going to tell you what that is, what it really is. It is just unhealed, stuck energy. That's all that it is. And so through this modality of hypnotherapy, quantum healing, past life regression, and all of that, I go in and I untie those knots so that we can see clearly, because stagnation, guys, is not forward movement. And when you are not moving, when energy is not in motion, it cannot exist here. And that's how you get the scars, little tears, little slits in your soul, which is people call a soul tie, right? So a demon is nothing more than a manifestation of a blockage. You have trapped the energy. The energy is becoming too thick because it can't move. And now it manifests itself as a demon, when in fact it's just something unhealed. It's something that energy that needs to be let out, stretched out, so that it can breathe and expand, because we are ever expansive beings. So truth is, you are the creator of these demons, is what I'm trying to say. So when we are contacted and we feel these thick, dark energies, what I'm seeing through my practice is that these are higher dimensional beings. They have a thickness to them because they are closer to the raw dark matter of the universe, where it holds all of the potentiality. And the more light that you have to use, you have to travel with light to get down to these lower dimensions. And so now there's a lot of distortion that happens. And the lower you go into the dimensions, the more distortion that happens. So the more that we are seeing these light beings, guys, I'm sorry, this is spirit talking. The more we are seeing these light beings, and we see these angels, and we see these things that we have been told and taught are good. But in fact, they are lower dimensional. So they have skewed it here to keep you away from the darkness. That's why they got to put this all-seeing eye on all this Illuminati stuff, on all this esoteric knowledge, or the Baphomet. They got to bring all these images in to keep you away from it. When you open those books and you open yourself to these knowledge, in fact, the darkness is what illuminates. The light hides. The darkness, going inside of the darkness, that's why the eye always looks within. Our third eye chakra looks within, because you're going inside to the meditative state to commune with the aspect of creation that is the raw dark matter, which is stillness, energy at a still point of reference. So what I'm trying to say is that the more light you have, the more you can't see clearly. So a lot of these light beings are showing us are actually lower dimensional beings. That's how we get all our angels and everything. And I'm not saying the angels are bad, because I told you here that there's right and good and bad and wrong and all of that. But the truth is, everything is just one. But we hold on to the polarities here. That's how the earth matrix works. It works off of polarities of the stark contrast. So to us, it seems bad, right? But to higher dimensional beings, it's just a focal point. It's just a little slit in time, an aspect of source that is being projected to be expressed. That's all that it is. So these light beings are actually lower dimensional beings, and these negative, disagreeable beings, you feel that they're disagreeable because you're actually more of a light being, reflecting the light to hide who you really are. The moment you introduce the ego, it's light. It's a false light. Because the ego has to pretend that it is something more than what it is. If you had no ego, you ever seen those people who don't have an ego? They don't care. They don't even care how they present themselves. And people look at them and they think that they're bad. That's what I'm saying. That person's dark. That person's bad. This person needs to shower. This person needs to work on and getting their money up and all of that. And this person's, they just shun them from society. They're dark. They're bad. They don't fit in. But in fact, when you bring the ego in, you have to have all these things. You have to have all these fancy clothes. You have to have all of the nice hair and the cars and the houses and the this and that to reflect the light, to shine on the aspect that you wanted to shine, so that people don't actually see your true self, right? Which is actually the deep darkness matching up with the dark void womb of creation, which is just the raw dark matter. That's where the work is done. That's why we do the shadow work on ourselves, which I can help you with during these sessions of healing, quantum healing. That's why we do the shadow work. That's why that eye, that third eye, looks within. That with the eye that we're calling evil, that's why it looks within. Because if you can't see the truth about yourself within, you're going to be stuck here forever on the same lesson. You're not going to be able to really help anybody, because you can't help yourself, because you're still a child in frequency. This is what I'm saying. We've been tricked by the light. And I'm going to keep tapping on this. I'm tapping on something here. I'm getting to something. Lower dimensional beings are light beings because they have to travel. The more speed they go, the more light they gather. The more light that's gathered, the more illusions start to happen. The less light you have, you're in your raw state. You can't, it's going to sound crazy, girl, what I'm about to say. If you can't be in the same room as a disagreeable negative entity or being, you're not evolved. Because we've been told to be afraid of it. But what I'm seeing now, you're not evolved because you can't radiate at that higher dimensional frequency. These dark beings, they're higher. They are higher in frequency. They're not hiding. As soon as they bring their light in, they can project themselves as a light being. You ever seen or heard stories of, oh, this entity came to me, or this angel or whatever, they were a light and all beautiful, and all of a sudden they turn into a demon. The light is a trick. You can't see when there's too much light involved, is what I'm trying to say. I would rather see the dark being so I can see them without the light. Then I can say, hey, I don't like that energy. I don't like how you're showing up. You're too high. These 13th, 12th dimensional, 10th dimensional beings, they're darkness. They're closer to the source, basically. It's the raw dark matter of the omniverse, mama's womb. So you can choose to deal with the lower aspect of them. The lower aspects will have more illusions, more light to pacify you, because you don't want to actually deal with the rawness, the thickness of it. The thickness is where the information is. You know how much information I've been getting talking to these higher dimensional beings that have a very thick energy. I say thick because I don't want to say dark, because people get scared when you say dark, but their energy is thick. They're not love and light. They are strong. The light is behind them because they always protect the light at all costs, because the light is the highest vibration of source, which is always protected and always hidden. When they show you light here, they want you to see what they want you to see. It's an illusion. It's a false light. Naturally, we should be going towards the things that they say are dark. That's where the real knowledge is and the truth is. And that's what I'm talking about on this all-seeing eye. So this woman that was in this experience, she only had one lifetime here, which is this lifetime. And she was actually a higher dimensional being, an 8th dimensional being. And that's where we found the third eye. Not the third eye, but the pyramid. See, this pyramid are ley lines to the higher dimensional worlds and beings. It's nothing more than a map, and it filters information, and it's a portal as well. It's a egress and an entrance in and out of worlds to higher dimensions. And that's what was all on your money. The all-seeing eye was all this Illuminati stuff. That's nothing more than the illuminated ones. What they're saying is, I have knowledge that you do not have. This is without the light. It sits even above the heavens, because I asked this being, this being, this third eye, this pyramid, this Illuminati symbol started to talk to me and told me who it was. It records everything. It's even higher than heaven, because it even has to keep the checks and balances of heaven. So I asked it, wait, haven't you been judged if you go to heaven? There's a bigger judgment coming, guys. You get judged along the way. I don't want to say it's like a judgment per se. It's more of a salvation. Salvation, salvation. We are solving the biggest mathematical equation that has ever been attempted. That's what source is. It's a mathematical equation that is ever expansive and ever growing and all knowing. And then when the knowing is over, it gives birth to more unexpressed knowing for us to uncover. This is your omniverse. This is how you get the omniverse, ever expansive. So this third eye, this pyramidal third eye, was an 8th dimensional being that recorded everything, even records the heavenly realm for judgment. There's a bigger judgment coming. I've been talking about this in my book. People are calling it the pole shift, but it's not. I like to call it, it's more of a revelations than anything. It's what happens at the end of an age, where the energy returns back into itself, goes back into the womb. It's a mega universal cycle. Parts of it gets destroyed, other aspects of it gets reimagined. And then the Big Bang, so to speak, goes out and happens again. It's nothing more than mama giving birth yet again. The darkness is not your enemy. The darkness is where the truth is. The darkness is higher dimensional beings, higher knowledge, higher learning. And that's why all of these so-called Illuminati, that's just the enlightened ones. Most of these people are not enlightened. They're just going along with the flow. But the real ones, all these celebrities are just puppets. You know, they see all of that. Most of them probably don't have knowledge, but these real people that are into all this stuff, this esoteric stuff, this occultism and all of that, people following the left-hand path, that's where the knowledge is, in the darkness. I had to come on here and say it again. This third eye is recording all of us. It's recording it from the 8th dimension, sits right on top of the 7 heavens. And I'm getting to, it's the 8th chakra as well. It's where it's holding the energy of the 8th chakra point. It expands throughout your auric field. That's where it records. So it looks like the higher we go up in dimension, actually, is the more you don't have to deal with all of these lower dimensional earth lives. And where you can start to become your own judge, because you start to be more of the totality of source. That is more of the whole. And so you don't have to go into all these little slits of time and take part, in all of the singularity, right, of thoughts. Because we're all minds in the one divine mind of source. So I'm going to leave this right here for today. We're going to keep tapping on this. I'm tapping into something, guys, as I keep doing more and more of these sessions. If you want to book a session with me, you can go to my website, instructionsforhumanity.com, girl. Everything should be up in a few weeks, but nevertheless, the site is there. You can contact me. You can email me, instructionsforhumanity@gmail.com. Guys, I'm going to leave this here for today, but I love you, the birds, the bees, and all the trees love you too. Bye, guys. Be well. Be well.